Sunday will be the outside first year for our student, a Rebbe, a great friend, great Jew, great soldier, a person who used to be out of the box. You know, usually I say the word, as doesn't exist the word friend. People using you and dropping you. This I would say 99.9 of society. Religious, not religious. Whatever you want to call it. But because Ari Fuld was not a faker, outside like the inside like outside. As one of his best friends, maybe the best friend of Ari, I used to look at them all the time. Best friend, really best friend, but you don't see. Steve, שיחיה ויתרי, השם ייקום דמו. And the wives, they live in Efrat, both have been in yeshiva. Steve do many things for Am Yisrael. One of them is the editor of the Jewish press. We can talk about Steve a lot, but it's tonight the scholar for Ari. Steve lived for many, many years. As we ask Steve to talk about Ari, because I feel bad for the boys with not here. I see a few guys missing here. You know, in the beginning of the year, everybody's Tinok HaBoreach מבית הספר. The baby would run out of school. He's missing you. 15 to 20 שנה א'. I feel bad for them. Because we don't do the school because we get money. I know the way you think. Like boys asked me after Rosh Hashanah in the past, how much you pay Rav Katz to cry? The reason for the Askora, not because we remember him well, not because I have a picture in my office, because he's a guy what you can learn from him a lot, all of us, including the old men like me, 71 plus, can learn a lot from Ari Fuld. And he's alive, for sure. And I want to tell you something. Usually when you go to a funeral, most of the people lie down. Whatever they said about the person, you can take off 100%, 150%. Nothing thinks what we are involved, because I will teach you a little Kabbalah. In Kabbalah is one of the things that I'm most scared to talk in a funeral. In Kabbalah, if you say too much about the person, you get punishment, and the niftar get punishment. And if you say too little, just you get punishment. But in America, everything is sheker, including funeral. You go dress for a funeral, suit, eyes against halacha, nobody cares halacha. I'll never forget, I went to a funeral, one of the alumni father who got killed, chopped liver by the New York mafia. It took him until to find the body. And I got dressed by one of the alumni in Lawrence. Take him a long time. Till I didn't hold myself, I said to him, whatever his name, what did it take you so long? Where are we going? Funeral! He's dead! He's only able to listen, he doesn't see you. I said to me, Rabbi, you don't understand, there are so many girls there, so many social. Maybe be the time of my shidduch. I said, now I realize that America is all sheker, sheker, sheker. Not just opposite of MS, sheker, including funerals. As listen careful what Steve going to say, because it's for you. B'ezrat Hashem, you're not going to get killed, like Ari, in the young age. And there are many things we can learn from him. Many, many things. Steve will talk, and then I will say a few extra words about him. As please listen, never please think me. What is Jewish name? Ari? Ari? Yoel? Ben Rabbi Yonah Ber? Okay. Ashkenazim say only the father name, but Sfardim say the mother name because the Chidor said mother has much more zchuyot from father. Chidor said. Okay, please.
Did anybody here know Ari, know who he was? Anyone not know who he is at all? First of all, he would have loved to see the base medrash here full like this on Thursday night. That would have made him very happy to see. I have been racking my brains for the past couple of days since Hanan and Bina told me they'd like me to talk about what to say to you guys, what to tell you. I'm debating between telling you stories about Ari. I've been debating to tell you what Ari would have told you, but that I can't do justice. I'm going to tell you a little bit what Ari would have said and a couple stories, and we'll see what comes out from there. Everyone describes Ari as a gibor, as a hero. And some people mistakenly think he's a hero because of the way he died. It was Erev Yom Kippur. He was in Gush Etzion by the Rami Levi, by the shopping center. An Arab kid came up behind him and stabbed him in the back. Ari then turned around. He chased after him, pulled out his gun, and shot the terrorist in the neck. He neutralized him, and then he fell, he collapsed, and he died. Ari used to say, Ari didn't say a hero was necessarily someone because he did something heroic because of his actions. He used to say a hero is someone who knows what the right thing to do is, no matter how difficult, and he does it anyway. For Ari, that was a hero. Heroes aren't someone that come out of nowhere. They're other people through their lives help them, impress upon them ideas, teach them ideas. Ari had two heroes in his life. The first hero was his grandmother. He used to talk about her all the time. They were from Germany. She was a survivor of Auschwitz. She survived the Nazis. And then eventually they came to America and they built a large Jewish family. When Ari was younger, his grandmother asked him, "Where's your home?" And Ari says, "Here, America. What's the question?" So she told him the story about, I believe it was her father. He was a general in the German army in World War I. And that didn't help. When the Nazis came around, he went, the whole family went, everybody was taken. And she impressed upon him the idea that there's only one home for the Jewish people, and that is Eretz Yisrael. And I think we all know what's going on, the anti-Semitism in the world right now, certainly what's going on, the increase in anti-Semitism in America, even in Brooklyn and Williamsburg, we hear stories. And you always have to remember that Eretz Yisrael is your home, and that's one of the messages Ari would have told you. I want to tell you a story about Ari. Ari was always learning. Bina will, I'm sure will tell you afterwards that when he got to yeshiva, he was always in the basement. He was always with Gemara, he was always learning. Every couple months, Ari would finish another Gemara, and he would make a siyum. We'd all go to his house, there'd be Kiddush. And at the siyum, he'd finish, he'd say what he has to say. He'd start with the Rami Bar Papa, Papa Bar Papa, and all the papas there, and he'd get to the line that where he thanked God to make him a Yoshev Beit Midrash and not Yoshev Kanat, not someone who's out in the corners, out in the marketplace. And he always, right then, he'd always start to cry. And we, being his friends, mature adults that we are, started laughing our heads off at him completely every single time this happened. And I asked him, okay, why are you crying? You learn more than all of us combined here. Not just Leavittt Kodesh, Leavittt Chol, Jewish history, everything. But for Ari, one of the things he really, really desired in his life was just to be able to sit in the base medrash and learn all the time. But that wasn't what it was meant to be. Ari had different gifts. Ari had the gift of learning, but Ari had other gifts that he had to share with everybody. He was somebody who had the ability to go out and confront anybody, anyone attacking Jews, anyone attacking Eretz Yisrael, anyone defaming the Torah or Zionism or Medinat Yisrael. I was never afraid to confront them and face them with the truth. And the weapon he used to face them with was the truth. And he was able to do that because he was always learning. And he had this gift where he could simplify any argument into its most basic component in order to prove his case. One of his favorite arguments, one of the ones he loved to use, was he'd point over there to the Har Bayit, he'd point to the mosque on top of the Har Bayit, and he'd say very simply, you built your mosque on top of my Har Bayit and you're calling me the occupier? That's a simple argument, but to reach that point, to be able to even think of that, takes some thought. And he had a lot of very pithy arguments like that just, you can't argue with. They were the truth. It was the basic core truth. Ari would have told you guys, and I know he would have told you guys because he gave that speech many times here in yeshiva to other yeshivas. He would have told you about your great-grandparents living in Europe, wherever they were living, how they could never even imagine that they would have had the opportunity to sit in a yeshiva in Israel for a year to learn. It's just, it was an impossibility, much less going back for the past 2,000 years. And he would have told you how grateful you had to be able to take advantage of this situation where you can get on a plane, come here and sit and learn, and you had to take advantage of this. That would have been Ari's message right now if you were here. And then he would have said, Shana Bet, if you haven't heard that part yet. And he would have been very serious. He would have told you guys you need to take advantage of this year, of all your years of learning, to learn as much Torah as you can, to learn much Jewish history as you can, to understand why you are Jewish. If you don't understand why you're Jewish, if you don't understand why you're keeping the Torah, you're going to lose it. You're going to go back to America, or hopefully you'll stay here, and you won't know why. You won't be able to compete with the marketplace of ideas if you don't have that basic understanding of why you're here, of what you're doing, what your mission in life is. And of course, he would have told you to make Aliyah and come here and live there. Ari, like I said, had two heroes. His second hero was Yoshua Friedberg. We met Yoshua in 1992 in Baku in the induction center. And I have my own personal story, how we all met, but it's not relevant right now. He and Ari became became very good friends. They were both magistim. They carried the big heavy gun in the army, and they were very good friends. Purim of 1993, Yoshua was on his way to do a test. First of all, you gotta say that Yoshua was 24 years old. He came from Canada, he was a lone soldier, and he was going to go do a test to go sign up for longer in the army so he could be an officer in the army. And on his way, some Arab terrorists dressed up as Jews kidnapped him and murdered him. Ari was part of the search party that found him, and the loss of Yoshua made an indelible impression on Ari forever. Yoshua was someone very, very unique, very special. He was always helping people. Ari, I was just watching a video of Ari, he was telling a story about Yoshua. In the army, when you get a chance to go home after a couple weeks in the army, you, as fast as you can, you get on that bus because you know that they're going to pick the slowest guy and they're going to tell him you're staying here on the base, and you're stuck there for another weekend. They were all going home that Shabbos, and Yoshua noticed one of the guys there, when the Israeli guys, was a little bit sad. Anyway, everyone else gets on the bus. And Ari looks around, and all of a sudden he sees that guy who wasn't getting on the bus, he's on the bus, and Yeshua's not. So it turns out, his brother, the boy's brother, had a bar mitzvah that weekend, and he unfortunately got stuck to be on the base for that weekend, and Yeshua spoke with him and learned about this and said, forget it, I'm not going home, I'm staying on the base. You go home, you can enjoy the bar mitzvah. That was the kind of person Yeshua was. He was selfless to an incredible degree. There's so many stories about him like that. I think that's why he and Yeshua, he and Ari were such good friends. They were just always giving up themselves for other people. After he was killed, some rabbi said to him, "There's a reason why Yoshua was killed," and Ari said, "Don't say that to me if you don't have any reason. If you can't tell me what the reason is, don't make that statement to me." And there is no reason. We don't know. I'll tell you a happier story now. In the Second Lebanon War, I was out there. I was fighting. I'm not going to go tell the story what happened in Lebanon. That's perhaps for another time. But when we got back, they were wiped out. They had no supplies while they were there. They had to walk many, many miles to get back to the border. And by the time they got back there, they were exhausted beyond belief. People were just falling down on the ground from exhaustion. All of a sudden, he sees this civilian car driving up into the middle of the soldiers along the border of Lebanon where no civilian is supposed to be. All of a sudden, out of the truck comes a couple of people, and they start handing out chocolates and candy and food to all the soldiers there. They go over to Ari and they give him some chocolate. Ari, for years, would describe this as the best piece of chocolate he had ever ate in his entire life, and he would always talk about this chocolate. The people that came out of that car were from an organization called Standing Together, also from Efrat, David Landau and Rami Landau, and they would go out to wherever there were soldiers and just bring them food and bring them nash and just to let them know that the people of Israel appreciate what they're doing and to tell them thank you. A few years later, Ari began working for them also. He was working as a fundraiser, and of course he was going out to all the soldiers in the field. He loved doing that. He just loved going out to the soldiers wherever he found them, giving them food, giving them waffles, giving them potato chips, giving them chocolate, whatever would make them happy. A couple of years ago, he was talking with another guy named Donnie Haller, and they decided they're going to build a hospitality truck for these IDF soldiers, just so that they can go out there and serve more soldiers and make them happy. And they began to raise the money for it. They raised around half the money, and then what happened to Ari happened. and the project stopped. A couple months ago, Rami from Standing Together came over to Miriam and came over to me and said, we're going to finish this project for Ari, and that's it. We don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. And he just started the process. He started buying the truck without knowing how we're going to get the money. And we're just going forward. And through God's help and the help of some amazingly generous people, we managed to complete the truck in time for Ari's yard site, which is this Sunday, as Bina mentioned. And we're going to be holding a dedication ceremony in memory of Ari and Yoshua. And on the side of this truck, on both sides of this truck, are pictures of Ari and Yoshua together. So from now on, every time this truck goes out, it's going to be Ari, it's going to be Ari and Yoshua there, taking care of the soldiers and making them happy. Ari used to talk all the time on social media and teach on social media and defend Israel on social media, and he didn't always know his reach. He didn't know how far he reached to people all around the world. Truth is, he didn't care. If he reached one person and he convinced them to love Eretz Yisrael, love the Torah more, he was happy. If he reached 1,000 people, obviously he was happier, but even one was a win. And Ari, like I said, he loved to learn, but Ari's greatest skills is in how he helped other people, and how he cared for other people, and how he defended other people, how he defended Am Yisrael. And he didn't just learn Torah. In every breath, in every action he took, he lived Torah. He lived the Jewish life the way it's supposed to be lived through personal example. And he's a Baruch.
Very interesting. In this week coming Parsha, the Or HaChaim HaKadosh talk about Klal Yisrael. There's a famous story about the Ari HaKadosh. They ask him, what you make? Ashamnu, Bagadnu. You didn't have any chet. You know, people when they are passed away, when they are very young, the concept of shleimus. What do you make? Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Roshnu Rabim. As the Ari used to say, I make Ashamnu for Klal Yisrael. In the history of the Jewish state, there's two kinds of prime ministers. Prime minister which used to get up in the morning and before they brush their teeth, they used to say what they can do for the Jewish people. First thing for the Jewish people, nothing about himself. And the last few prime ministers, but some of them, including Bibi, if you know Bibi personally, he's a super genius, went to MIT. The way he analyzes the situation in the world is like Shir Kloli of Reb Shmuel Wozowski. I call these kind of people Rosh Yeshivas. But I'm sorry to say, first thing when you get up in the morning, you think about himself. Not about the Jewish state. about himself. Ari Fuld, many people didn't understand him. He was in yeshiva how many years ago, Steve? How many years?
28.
28 years ago. He did the army. He was by Yoshir, it was good. I want to say a few things about him, and I want you to get into your mind. There's a little, for Shana Aleph too early, for Shana Bet, I don't know how many people have this kind of things. His love to Torah is something what you didn't see. And like I said before, I'm scared to lie when I talk Hesped. I never lie, but when I talk Hesped, I'm more careful from careful. Because every word, they watch you upstairs. And every word you can hear Chalila to Ari. I didn't see too many people when they are in the yeshiva as love Torah like him. Love. A crazy love, like love story. Like you see a boy sit with a girl and his eyes going out after the girl. I remember once he's a boy, today he's a big singer. I caught him in the Kabbalah Shabbos, staying with the glasses to the women's section. Chat Malachim. This is the way Ari was with Torah. Crazy, but he understood what many people don't understand. Until today, I feel the religious Zionist movement lost it in the big picture. Love to Torah, he understood and he believed as it's no future and not today and not yesterday without Torah. It's no beginning of Am Yisrael. Where he got it, I don't know. From his grandmother, from his father was known in his time the best principal in America, SAR. This was Ari. Ari didn't leave a second for himself. A second. He got some talent. He was a super genius, not academic. In panels, he used to go every Thursday to some media, I don't know where, some station in Tel Aviv, in English, no? In English, him present the right wing of Israel, the religious wing, with some leftists, with yarmulke, without yarmulkes. And he used to every time win against them. He never lost. They loved him. The leftists loved him. And usually if you know leftists, they're the most not liberal. The most not liberal. Ben Gurion, Zichrono Livracha, I remember when I was a kid. Whenever Begin used to pass him in the Knesset, because the Knesset used to be in Rehov King George, on the way to our school Choreb, whenever they passed in the door Ben Gurion and Begin, Zichrono Livracha, like a little baby, Ben Gurion used to turn the face. I don't want to look at it. Well, Begin is not a human being. What is the leftist? And Ben Gurion, without Ben Gurion, never be a Jewish country. I look on Ben Gurion, the lawyer of Moshe Rabbeinu. Not from religious point of view. Without Moshe Rabbeinu came out, we never come out from Egypt. Without Ben Gurion, we never leave a country. But then when you're a lefty, you're a lefty. You hate the right with the passion. Like Mitzvah Sayom, you got to Leavittt. You have to understand. Went through in the team around 4,000 students. We never got the students like Ari. For the past 15 years of Nativ, now he's more. Now we're in the 17th year. But till last year when he got killed. Whenever he was in Israel, most of the year, he never missed Thursday night Mishnah. Used to come to our Chaim Shir, a little before. Once, twice a year, we used to ask him 10, 15 to talk about Zionism. No question, he convinced many guys to make Aliyah. Many guys to go to the army. Was a great speaker, but not a speaker for the show, for Broadway show. Many rabbis that are very good speakers, or not a speaker, but they don't what they say. Are good speakers. Let somebody play well in Broadway show. Nothing behind the words. Ari believed in every word. He didn't say a word, but he didn't believe in this. As he used to come here, sit in Or HaChaim shir, then he used to come and sing a Airsoft in the office. And then he used to sit here, 4 or 5 tables here, behind all night, learning with guys, talking about Aliyah. Sometimes used to be a yeshiva, the building still exists, but the yeshiva is not here anymore, Baruch Hashem. It's hard to discuss it. Breslov yeshiva, Ele Mishugoyim. Not every Breslov is Mishuga, but the yeshiva used to be Mishugoyim Lemahadri. Be'ech Shorot the Kashas. And he used to love to go there, to go to the mikveh, to talk to them. He was interested in everything strange, everything. Used to love to come to work with tourists, really to give them Avas Yisrael. Very makpid on halacha, no games, no tricks, no all kind of politically correct, never kiss up to anybody. But one thing we have to learn with him, he's a big fight in Israeli society. What is, I'm talking the religious society, the Kibbutz Rugot. What is more important? Eretz Israel or Torah Israel? It's a big discussion in Israeli society. Very big discussion. There was a big fight about this in many places. In many yeshivas Bnei Akiva. Most of the yeshivas Bnei Akiva then, I'm not talking today, I don't know what's going today. Most of the yeshivas in the 60s, 70s, 80s used to believe as Eretz Yisrael doicha everything. And Ari was from the old school, the only school, from my point of view. As without Torah is no Eretz Yisrael. If you look in Or HaChaim, in the last few parshas, he talk a lot about this. As the only way we can get Eretz Yisrael, if we have Torah. Without Torah, we are nothing. And like Steve said, I remember when I went to pay yeshiva call. Oh yeah, outside the kid said to me, a kid in 6th, 7th grade, said to me, "Are you a Bina?" I said, "Yes, I'm Aaron Bina. I'm your student." I look at him, I look at myself, maybe I came out from the yeshiva home, very broken, maybe I lost my mind. I can be my student, he's 6th, 7th. I thought maybe he's a Mitch. I don't know what to do. What's going on? Well, how is this my student? As I look at him, מותק, תסביר לי איך אתה תלמיד שלי. אולי אני קצת דפוק בראש. אז הוא אומר לי, when I was in 5th grade, is the time when I used to be a little teacher. Used to teach in yeshiva a few years. And between the time of teaching, I used to teach also in elementary school. And Ari drove us crazy. As if you don't know Gemara, you're not beginning with Jewish. And we used to say them, where you got it? As he used to say, he got it by us. But he really believed. He lived it, like Steve said. As he cried, he really felt it deeply, deeply, deeply. Yesh Mekonis. It's the time when he decided he doesn't make enough money in yeshiva. He wants to go to work in the high-tech. And ask people who would work in high-tech, you can ask now, Simcha has just started to work in high-tech. After he graduated engineering in Tel Aviv, and used to be a Latin yeshiva, still a Latin yeshiva. The high-tech people in Israel, most of them, chazer treif lemahadra. Cheeseburger every day, part of the day. You have tefillin lehavdil, you have cheeseburger. You know, when a Jew, the Netziv said, when a Jew tried to be like a goy, he's worse from a goy. And Medina Tel Aviv, the country Tel Aviv, is a different country from Yerushalayim, different state. Same Dusha, Yerushalayim a little more, but Tel Aviv is also Kodesh. All of it's all Kodesh. He used to get crazy. I used to talk to him many times, and he mishtageh. I cannot take it. In front of my face, they have to eat. Like they enjoy to make me angry, and I have to hold myself. He never gave an inch to them. He never came less religious from them. When boys just went to work in the high-tech, including some boys with payers, and Gartel doesn't help a lot. And today they are shkotzim, the madrin. Because when you work in the high-tech, they influence you, influence. Didn't touch Ari, the two men, didn't touch Ari. He was the same Ben Torah. And by Ari, it was very important for you because Shana, Shana Ben, these are gold. We are not here for koilel, but we are here to teach you. As without Torah, you don't have anything. It's no beginning of Judaism. Sure, everything is Benodam Lechaveira. And now also the way you live, everything is for Klal Yisrael. Nothing for myself. Everything for Klal Yisrael. Listen to the story of what Steve said. And I used to think, everybody used to think, as Ari is a rainbow, nobody can touch him. Like in the movie Tarzan. Nobody can touch him. He's the rainbow. He is the Kivyochel the Moshe Rabbeinu of the world. Nobody can touch him. He is the most friendly with Kodesh Baruch Hu. He has security. Nobody never be able to kill him. There are some soldiers, they are the history of Medinat Israel, like Meir Har-Zion. Everybody worship him. The same thing was Ari. I think so Steve didn't say, during Lebanon war, a piece of a bomb, 7 centimeters, can kill you 10 times. Went and stabbed by his tzitzis. And whenever his wife used to light candle, used to be on the tray. But you know, when God decide, God decide. I remember I was in the office, and Tzvi said, brought me the media, whatever you're calling this. Then I did got my own, this garbage machine. It's good to have a machine, but not to get sick with this, like most of you. Show me the picture. As you see, Ari, what Steve just said, run after the terrorist. And you saw the way he ran now, you said, this is Ari. Then he fall apart. I remember then I said, Ari. Used to come to the shir, used to park the car in Siloam. Whenever he used to tell me, I used to shake. Because I'm a Jewish grandmother, double 2 minimum. I used to say, Ari, מה קרה לך? אבל תדאג, אני בסדר. הוא לא ידע מה זה פחד, he didn't know what it means scary. There are many stories about him in the army, the way he was devoted. I know you say, in Efrat you have, like in many towns, you have Yechidat Konenot. How do you say in English? I don't know. He was a Rambo. Rambo, but without any guidance. Everything L'Shem Shamayim. He understood what written in all the Sforim, as we are in Shlichus in this world. We are not for ourselves, not for ourselves. Not a second. We live for other people, for the Jewish people. You didn't find, I would say, he was never a big general in the army, but anybody who knew Dror Weinberg, Hashem Yikon Damo, he was similar to him. Usually in the army, there's a lot of devotion, a lot of Mesirus Nefesh. But you get to the level of general, you become a politician. Because, you know, like Rabbonim, everybody wants to have the Shlishi, the Mafter, the Shishi. All the things will make you comment. But Dror Weinberg, Hashem Yikon Damo, was never involved in politics. Never. He used to hate many generals. He used to say, he's interested about himself. And also similar between Dror Weinberg and Ari. Dror Weinberg, whenever he used to get off from to be the general of one of in the end of his life, of Hebron, when you're the Machat of Hebron, you sleep maybe 20 minutes with your pants and the shoes a night, maybe. Because Hebron is a big center of terrorists. Maybe the biggest. Close from Gaza. And whenever he used to get off, he used to live in Kiryat Moshe, next to Merkaz Arav. He used to park his jeep by Merkaz Arav outside. Maybe when he did Friday night, in Toronto's house, 2 blocks used to be there. Every second is Pikuach Nefesh. Friday night, after sitting with then he used to have 5.5 children. He used to go all night learning in Merkaz Arav, all night at Chavrusa. The Chavrusa used to sit, Dror Weinberg used to stay with the walkie-talkie, the iPhone then. It's already 10 years what he died. Maybe more, maybe a little less. And sat to learn all night. What's the name? General, big general? He's so big general, so creative. And still today, in the intelligence of Ilu, they have kitot, study of what calling Torat HaLechima shel Dror Weinberg. But he understood, as a Bina Torah, you don't have anything. He never got the opportunity. He sat with his wife and the children, but used to learn all night. What do we mean? Shabbos, you have to chop, you have to sleep, you have to eat pistukim, garenim, everything's important. By Shabbos. But by Dror Weinberg during the Shabbos was Torah. Without Torah doesn't mean as a big general. Doesn't work. There's no cover for this. I would say Ari Fuld never got to be a general, but there's something similar to Dror Weinberg. Love, crazy love for Torah, understood as without Torah is no Eretz Yisrael. Like I said, there's a big philosophy in Eretz Yisrael. Fight used to be in the early 70s. When the Mitnachalim started Sabastia, if to go to the Afghanot, all Rosh Yeshivas used to say to go to Afghanot. My father, then in Netiv Meir, didn't let to go to Afghanot. I remember Hanan Porat, Zichrono Livracha, was a great guy. He used to come and fight with my father. His father used to say to him, this is my yeshiva, out. And if you don't go out, I will throw you out. Torah is nothing to fight against Torah, nothing. Nobody will tell you for Torah. You have to go to the army, do separate things. But if you're not in the army, Talmud Torah can help you. This was Ari Fuld the same. But in the same time, he understood us without chesed, we don't have future. Without Eretz Yisrael, we don't have future. But everything base and start from the Torah. Get it to your mind, guys. You're on the beginning of Shana Aleph. Look to my little lunatic what I'm talking to you. But this is one of the goals what you want to reach to. You want to do Aliyas Neshama for Ari Fuld? Think about this. It was very interesting. A few months before he died, in the Memorial Day of the Army, Yom HaZikaron, He took the boys from the Aryeh to Har Herzl, and he spoke there. Zionism, about his friend. He took the boys to his grave. A few months later, Kodesh Baruch Hu took it. I have a philosophy, I don't have proofs, but I have a philosophy for many years. As God only take in the army the best people. I remember in 1967, God killed a boy in Kerem Yavne. As he used to go every night, he was from Rehovot. Rehovot 10, today is very close. Today with buses, private car. But then he used to take over an hour from KBY, from the kibbutz outside, to go to Rehovot. He used to go every night to wash his mother's feet. She was a Holocaust survivor. To do a massage and go back to the yeshiva. Only Tanoim did like this to the parents. If you look on every guy, religious or not religious, what got killed in 67, 73, after, all of them very special soul, very special. God doesn't take the cheap quality of neshamot. Like the Gemara said in Bobekame, the deer yard legano, God go to the park, to the field, and pick up only the best and the most beautiful fruit. The most beautiful fruit. I remember doing Lebanon. You know, we cannot forget what used to happen to us all the time in Cross Street. They didn't want to give aliyahs to chutznikas. No way, chutznikas cannot be by the kriya, and they cannot get aliyahs. They're shkotzim from Chutz La'aretz. Only the money is clean and tahor. Typically Jews. As if the guy used to be friendly with me, or I got friendly with him. This I came best friend with Roy. I took him to work for us. But if not, never got aliyahs. As we are deep in Lebanon, in East North, around Kfar Kuk, nothing to do with Rav Kook. Rav Nemtzat was there for 2 weeks, running between the tanks and teaching the guys. Volunteer. I was there because Miluim. And one boy was the Gabe in the old yeshiva. And you know, in the war, everybody's scared. He said to me, Rav Bina, titan li bracha? I laughed in his face. I said to him, you're a piece of a shmo. God hates you. God not going to take you. Don't worry, you're safe. God only take the best guys. You're a shmo. He's alive till today. Ari Fuld was a malach. You can't explain this. No other way. When you try to analyze today, I was a big chassid of Ari all the time. Most of the people after he died came as chassidim. All the time they call me, he's crazy about Israel, crazy about the army, moral, the concept in Hebrew. I worship him all the time. I look up to him. I felt a lot of nachas every Thursday when he came and sang Ya'echsov with us, soon will sing also Lilu Nishmos. He used to tell me, this is my mikveh. After this I go to the mikveh, but part of my mikveh to sing Ya'echsov with everybody. You can say about him as the Clippers of Tel Aviv, the Clippers of the high-tech. I'm talking nothing wrong in high-tech. Don't get me wrong ideas, but all the atmosphere. Some of them gays, bisexual. People would hate religion with a passion. He used to love to try to convince him. Nothing touch him. Nothing. He didn't have to be cleaning the fellow at the end with soap. Because he was so full of Torah and believe in Torah and believe in Eretz Yisrael and believe a lot in Kedushas Yisrael and believe a lot in Kedushat Eretz Yisrael. And he didn't understand. One of the things I spoke about this Rosh Hashanah, and I will say again because it bothers me a lot. I'm not talking Aliyah department, and I'm not trying to convince you to make Aliyah. But I'm trying very strong to convince you, as if you want to be connected to our religion, is only through religion, only through Eretz Yisrael. If you're not connected in some way, I remember there's a boy here, I don't know if he's here now, maybe he's here, Josh Baker. His father, his uncle, learned in Yeshiva many years ago. And when Josh, his brother, his sister, they were young, the parents used to come Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, as the school help, and DRS used to scream at him, Mr. Baker, we'll kick your children out. What, you live in school, you're going to Israeli school? I used to tell him, Polly, tell all of them to go to hell twice. In my name. Because a week, 2 weeks when you're in Israel, worth everything. And thank God all the children from Netanya know how to learn. Bezrat Hashem Josh will know how to learn also. Because what you get in Eretz Yisrael, you don't get in no place. Don't live in a dream. Lakewood, 5 times, with all respect. They're not Eretz Yisrael. They don't have the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. They are Tumas Eretz Army. I'm not saying everybody who live in America is a Shakers. I'm not saying this, but get it to your mind, the place of the Jews is in Israel. Like Steve said, the story of the grandmother of Ari. I heard it from many people. As when all people from Europe used to say to the children, when somebody asked you from where you are, you said Yerushalayim. You're from Yerushalayim. For some reason, for no reason, I live in America. But my mind, my goal, my heart, my brain, they're in Eretz Yisrael. Get it to your mind. Think a second from business. If all the Jews except to go Pesach to Florida, come to Israel.